Well, the law of compensation says that, you know, what you put out, you may be just subject to get back. You know, you put something into a computer. When you hit the buttons on the computer, you usually get whatever you put in there. I mean, a slot machine doesn't put out any money that's not in the slot machine. It's the law. It's the law of reciprocity. The law of compensation. I described the law of compensation in the beginning of the basic textbook. You compensate. You get compensation for what you put out, supposedly, or somebody gets it. If you plant seeds in the ground, if you plant corn, you're subject to get corn. You won't get asparagus or broccoli. You will get corn, because corn is what you put into the ground. And so if you go around doing harm to people, according to the law of compensation, the harm just might come back to you. Mm-hmm. And it might come back with greater force than what you put out.
Yes.
All right?
All right.
There are all kind of cliche sayings that say that this happens. Say you sow the wind and you get the whirlwind. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, you put out a little bit of winds, whatnot, and you get the whirlwind because, you know, you get some profits with it, you know. And I do remember it because I've seen it over and over again, because I say that's a very important part of the movie Godfather 1, that black people should look at, that particular scene. And Marlon Brando, the Don Corleone, he said, we have done business in the unions, or he said something to that effect.
Yes, sir.
You know, and we have been in different types of, you know, he said even women, you know, prostitution.
Yes, yes.
He said that's an illegal business. We're in that business. He says, but when it comes to drugs, we have always backed away from drugs. The Corleone family never did drugs. We never sold drugs because I believe, and this is what the Godfather said in the form of Don Corleone, played by Marlon Brando in the movie The Godfather 1, he said at that table, talking to the other so-called crime families, he said, I believe this drug business will destroy us all eventually. You know, we put it out here among the dark people, as somebody suggested at that same table. He said, we're going to have the business control. We're going to put it among the dark people, the black people, the colored people. Say, they're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls. Those were the words in the movie.
Yes.
But Don Corleone said, but you can start off that way. But, I mean, but if you want to use that chickens coming home to roost thing, say, hey, it might just spread. It spreads to your own families.
Yes.
And from what I understand, even in the movie, the part played by the hitman, Pete Clemenza, the person who shot people with the shotgun on the elevator.
Right.
All right. I understand that in Godfather 2, it was hinted that he had died from a drug overdose. All right. So even in the movie, that law of compensation might have kicked in. All right. He was a hitman. His job was to kill people, but he wound up killing himself from an overdose of drugs. I mean, but it's unfortunate that you have this system of racism anyway. Drugs have been spread all over the world by the white supremacists, where they are dark people, all right? Before then, it was alcohol, black people getting drunk on Saturday night. In fact, that was a regular ritual. Black people themselves embraced that culture for years before drugs. You know, there are many songs that black people wrote, all right, which is understandable. You're right about the things you know about. And, you know, Bad, Bad Whiskey by Amos Milburn, you know, made me lose my happy home. We almost say it with joy. I mean, we sing songs like that.
Yes.
Back when whiskey was the thing. People talking about getting drunk on Saturday night and bragging about it, all right? Sunday morning my head was bad, but it's worth it for the times that I had. But now I've got to get my rest, 'cause Mondays is a mess. Okay? That's in Fats Domino, who passed recently, a blues singer, singing about what? Going out on a weekend and getting drunk. But he got to get himself together, you know. Use Sunday to get himself together after a Saturday night of drinking.
Wow.
And so he can be ready for Monday.